Hello, welcome everyone to African Travel and More. I'm Yolanda and this is Jeff. And we want to welcome you to our Friday Live. Yes, it's been a long time. We're trying to be consistent in doing our lives, building once again. Um, you want to start off with some music as we have people come in, and this should be a good one. A good one this time, I hope. What's the music today? Sounding George Dukish.
Just make this up. Yeah. Hey, welcome everyone to African Travel and More. Today, we, the topic today is a good one because what we I should have had a different color cup.
Why?
I should have had the blue cup. I have a blue cup, but I don't know.
Contrast is good.
Anyway.
Contrast is good. Okay, so today we want to talk about, give you some essential tips on currently how African travel is. So a little bit about our experiences. The last video that we did on Monday, we talked lightly about it, but as promised today, we said we would come back and give a little bit more. So today we want to look at those current conditions and start out by talking about some of the things that we experienced while traveling, yes, on the African continent. Honestly, what took place. And this time around, I can tell you, Jeff, you can chime in, but I still see a lot of COVID games happening and people people cashing in on it. I just have to tell the truth. So when you travel, you do need to really do the research and check into what each country is asking for, because even when you do that, you still might get a little surprise. So before like I get into that, I know there were some questions. I received questions from some of the subscribers, and it had to do with travel when you're going to particular countries. What does it look like? Meaning, if you should go to which country first and that type of thing. I don't know if you want to. What the question was, they were asking about leaving New York to Senegal was 5 hours. I mean, 7 hours.
So what's the essence of the question?
I think they want to know which one would we suggest to go to first, and I'm thinking
it depends on where they're going. Is their goal to go to a African country?
Yes, they mentioned
specific
Kenya.
African country. Okay.
Yes, they mentioned Kenya and Tanzania. Then they mentioned Did they mention Zanzibar? And they mentioned mainly Kenya and Tanzania, then Senegal and Ghana. I would go to the East African countries first, only because I think how it's arranged, they're a little bit closer. Say if you go to Tanzania, Kenya's there, Uganda's there. The flights look different than it did pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, it was a little bit less. Now you're looking at prices. It's more of a price hike, but what you're dealing with now is more of COVID restrictions for each country, and so that's really part of what we want to talk about today is those COVID restrictions, that they're there and is real and it can be expensive. Okay. So
but to answer the question, you said East Africa.
Mm-hmm. The East African
that's good. I mean, I always go back to what is it someone wants to do. One of the things that people like to do when they go to Africa, they've glorified the safaris.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to see the good safaris or the true safaris, then you would go to East Africa.
East Africa, yeah.
You can go to West Africa and find some, or even South Africa. I mean, well, of course, like Namibia, and Botswana, you're going to get some true gaming sites and observations in Namibia.
But compared to
East Africa is a bit more dense.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get more stuff, even gorilla trekking. And the primates up in East Africa. So you'll get a variety of things. West Africa, kind of fake. It's a lot of beautiful things in West Africa. Coastline, beautiful people.
Right. Culture and foods.
But when it comes to game and animals and stuff, a lot of times they fake it. They'll sometimes import animals in to create a safari because they know that people like to go to Africa for a safari.
Right.
And a lot of people are kind of ignorant, so they don't even know that these animals are not native to that particular region.
Right.
That these animals have been brought
imported,
in
from
some other African countries.
It's true.
But to see the true safari, if you want a safe safari, go to South Africa.
Right.
Because you'll get pretty close to a real safari, but in one of the more safe environments. But that was just to answer that question. Where should you go?
Right.
And if you just want to go to see culture and have a lot of English speaking people, then you're talking about Ghana.
True.
Ghana has a wide range of culture. You can go all the way to first world 5-star living, all the way to the bush in Ghana. So it's a good place to go. Very safe. Government is stable. They got some issues with COVID.
Yeah.
Not issues that people are sick.
No.
The government got issues with trying to make money with COVID. But anyway, go to your next question. We'll get to that.
Well, that was it. We just had that one particular that was interesting. So I wanted to touch on that before getting into our experiences. So I guess I'll start out. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this time, I always say it was quite interesting. It was somewhat annoying, some of the experiences that we encountered. It had a lot to do with, say for instance, let me give you an example for the Gambia. Okay, so we went to the Gambia and we were aware that you have to pay a $20 entrance fee on top of your visa fee. We knew that. But exiting the Gambia, they charge, was it $20?
Yeah, it's
$20.
It's not a lot of money, but it's just
annoying.
It's like some of the developing countries, the way they just try to figure out just small annoying ways to try to collect $10, $20, $30, $50 from you all the time. It's
annoying.
Yeah,
it's just make you miss your flight.
It's just knowing they hold you up and then they try to shake you down for other things, but they try to be more discreet. Sometimes they're very overt, like when we first arrived in Gambia. They were trying to hold us up through customs, and one of the guys just came out and said, "Look, you can just get through quicker. Just give us a blah 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 blah, money." And then he asked me for a certain amount. I said no, and I yelled at him, no. And because look, I was gonna give him a few dollars. It was like, I know that's part of the game, But I'm saying you're giving the equivalent of US maybe $5, $5 or $10.
Right.
When they start to go kind of above in that's when you have to start to argue.
No, you have to say no.
Right. So the point I'm making, I don't want to belabor that point. The point I'm making is that it kind of it's going to happen. You're kind of used to it, but sometimes it just catch you off guard because you're just trying to get where you're going. You're tired. You're trying to do this. You're going through. You've looked at all of these restrictions and guidelines, and then here's somebody come side swipe you with another fee. That is not necessary. So you end up getting into big blown out arguments for nothing, for $20, $30,
right?
Because you're just fed up with it.
Yeah, because you're tired and you're annoyed and you want to catch your flight. And the next thing that was annoying, and I don't know if it annoyed you, but I'm sure it did. They asked, and this isn't the Gambia. I'm gonna move on to the other annoyances, but they asked, "Oh, may we see your COVID test?" Now, the Gambia, they don't even have a location for you to take a COVID test. And they're asking for the COVID test. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've been to Gambia more than once.
It's just,
and
that's annoying.
We first time, because the thing is, well, we had a workaround, but that's that you have to call us personally, ask about our workaround,
or if we put up a Patreon, which I haven't had time to put up, but I'd rather just tell what that was. But
no,
you have to contact. They tried to hustle. They got out hustle.
Right, you have to contact us.
They got out hustle because they tried to pull that stunt. But you want to go into?
No, I was just saying that the first time we went, this was in the midst of the pandemic, and we were trying to get the COVID test coming out of Gambia. It was impossible. And then we finally found a place that said, everything lined up. We drive to this place. It was like a football stadium or something, and it was nobody there at the time. It had the time and the hours. Nobody, no signs, no nothing.
Right.
So there was no way to get a test. So that's when we figured out the workaround. Anyway, and that's you have to call us personally to figure that out. But we had to get out of Gambia, So
they had a little hustle happening, and you find that because it's not an issue over there. It's not an issue at all. But anyways, I told you in the beginning that this COVID mess is going to be a money grab, and sure enough, that's what it is. For some of you who are wanting to go to Ghana, because this has come up with people who are asking us for a tour and that type of thing. Ghana, at this point, if you are not vaccinated, you cannot come. So if you're not vaccinated, Ghana is not accepting people to come to their country. So I don't know. A lot of people, they wish to take it. That's on them. For people who don't wish to take it, they'll miss out. But I mean, Ghana will more so miss out. I hope that they change this way because I see it as another money opportunity for that country. So anyways, those are the things you really, really have to pay attention to, the entry requirements. And really, even they change.
Have a plan B.
Always have a plan B. And we're serious about that. Always have a plan B, because once you leave your homeland, whether it be UK, whether it be US, whether it be wherever. It's totally different. So you just have to be prepared. You have to be able to pivot when it doesn't work for one place. You have to be able to say, oh, well, let's do this instead.
Right. Now, one of the things you have to kind of be aware of as an American citizen, if you listen to us from the United States,
yes,
and even if you listen to from some other country, primarily, many of the countries are using it. Even if the country's not doing it, the people at the airport, the border control or whatever is using it as a way to extract money from you.
That's true.
I've read and heard and talked and know enough that they like American citizens because they know that generally we would have the money to pay for these when it was like quarantine time, or pay for extra PCR, or well, not PCR, it's usually the rapid test. Antigen test.
That's what's costing $150.
Right. So they know that we're going to pay that. So they love it when we come, especially when they corner us and force us to do certain things, kind of lock you in, so they know you got the money. So just be careful. Read all the embassy information, and, stay up to date, because it will change quickly, just like Ghana changed quickly. Yes. We left on one date through talking to the embassy, we went through multiple channels to get the required information, and actually had a chance to talk to a live person, which is very, very difficult with these embassies.
Rare.
Because the last thing they want to do is talk to you.
Right.
They don't even want to answer your email. So anyway, we talked to somebody. We went through the whole chain.
Right.
By the time we were ready, we were moving about to different countries, like we like to travel. By the time we were ready to go to Ghana, within a week of that conversation, they had changed their rules. Caught us in mid-travel. Mid-flight, mid-travel. Changed the rules.
That's right.
And there's nothing you can do. It's like the airlines that you're trying to board on say, oh, no, this is their rule. We like, wait a minute, this is the rule. This is what we got.
Right.
They say, no, but this is what we got. Guess who win? The tie goes to the airline.
Right.
If your document versus their document, the tie goes to the airline. So
just be very careful. But right now, I think they're more. I put in the description link, IATA. You can use that to look. But just in your airline, the airline that you're flying really should have that. Flying from the U.S., I know that it's more. It's a little bit more scrutinized. But when you fly, say we were flying to Greece, and we went to Sweden and then from Greece, so we were not flying from the U.S. straight into Ghana. So that's how we ended up not being able to get that information, or falling through the cracks, or however you want to put it. But just be really, really, really careful, because it is a money grab. It's like I've always said, it's a money grab. And if you don't want to play the money grab game, then maybe you will sit at home. But if you do, you have to sharpen your tools and know what to do.
Exactly. And we'll probably find out. We're not going to get this information anytime soon, but we're going to find out years from now. Hopefully somebody's investigating. We may not be years, but we're going to find out that all the money that the pharmaceutical industry got infused into their companies, they were able to influence a whole bunch of people, politicians, small governments, developing country governments, and I'm almost certain that Ghana it's been influenced by the pharmaceutical industry.
Definitely.
Because the pandemic, like I've said before, the pandemic gave them a money machine. As a matter of fact, I compared it. I said you could give somebody a money machine and let them do dollars nigga all day, or you could be in the pharmaceutical industry, and that person couldn't crank out as much money to beat the pharmaceutical industry. It was just billions and billions
of dollars. Yeah.
So they got a lot of influence right now. You hear commercials now about the vaccine and different things. They're sponsored by different, you name it, the pharmaceutical, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, you'll hear that the sponsors at the end of the commercial.
Right.
That
so they have a lot to do right now. a lot of money, and they're able to influence. But we realize that how Ghana is moving. They're moving towards a developing first world, however you want to say, country. They're on the move, so I don't fault them for that. But
yeah, I mean, I understand you don't fault them for that. I do, in that they instituted things that were not necessary.
Well, yeah, I fault them
at
for that.
the very wrong time.
Yeah.
And the thing that they forced on people is something
that doesn't work,
that is directly tied to the pharmaceutical industry.
True.
Who happens to have way more money than they can possibly spend. So I know that the influence is there in some kind of way. So that's why they are making decisions that are not necessarily good for the country in the long run, but it feeds some of the pockets of certain people in the short run.
Oh, that's true. I agree with you on that. That's true. But what I meant was, I understand. I should say I understand, but I don't agree with it. But I understand. But yep. So that's what you want to do. This one's short and sweet. I don't have much more to say about it, except you have to really do your research. I was saying do your research before. You really have to do your research now and be prepared, because there are a lot of scams, just like he was saying at the airport, especially when they're asking for a cash payment, and you're not in your homeland, so it's just like the lady that's in Russia now. It makes me think about that. She said that they didn't read me my rights. That's the United States rights. That's not
they don't read your rights.
They don't read your rights in Russia. So
or any other country.
Right. So you really once you're off of your US soil, we're in the US, your rights, you have the right to what that country is prescribing for you. You're visiting. Now there are international rights that we have, but when you're in another country, you're really at their mercy. So,
right. You just try to avoid
problems.
Yeah, exactly, because you don't have time to be trying to figure out what are the international laws.
Because I'm not an attorney. Right. You're not an attorney. We're not there for an attorney experience. We're there to enjoy ourselves and not have to spend bukus of money trying to figure out what's what. But we're still in the COVID scam, but I think it's going to help us all get really smart about how we do our travel. And you can still travel. I think we did better in the pandemic traveling than post. What's your opinion of that?
Yeah, and there's real quick. In the pandemic, there was, as sad as all the fallout from the pandemic, deaths and stuff like that, but in terms of travel, it was quiet, it was peaceful, and it was cheap.
It was dirt cheap.
Oh boy, I
cheap.
remember going. Going internationally was cheap, but I'm saying
locally was dirt.
I remember I took a flight to visit relatives in Dallas, Texas, round trip, not one way. Round trip was $67. I said I can go here for lunch and come back. It was that good. But it was cheap. Airports were quiet. It was empty seats on the airplane. You would have like this, what they call poor man first class, where you have the whole row to yourself.
Oh yeah. It was
and once you landed in these other countries, people were not terrified, especially in some of the actually almost every country we went to.
Yeah, they were not.
Of course, we went to Paris. That was during the time they were scared.
They were horrified. Yeah.
But some of all the African countries where we went, people were just living their lives,
But
so
then it shifted to the money.
Right, and then of course after they got the vaccines and all that sort of stuff, and a lot of people got immunity and that sort of thing. Right. Then the prices spiked, and then we got caught in the spike.
Right.
And now there seem to be seem like you say tapering off now a little bit.
It's tapering off a little bit. But, but what's happening is, even though it's tapering off the right and all of that, you still just have to be really cautious. You just have to do your research now more than ever, so you will not get caught up in, as you say, a trick bag.
Right. Because
nothing worse than getting caught up in a trick bag.
Right now, like I said, the pharmaceutical industry and associated industries got tons of money. They got money to just throw away. They could, as they say, they could have an elephant barbecue just with the money they got. Just throwing dollars on the. They could do that. And so what I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that is, it's the vaccine sort of frenzy is still here. We got monkeypox happening now.
Oh God!
And then there's another something I heard that's happening in Ghana. I think it's called the Marburg virus or something.
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, so that found a few people in Ghana. So right now that frenzy is happening. So
they like
with that money and that power and petitioning the government to pay and giving them exemptions. That's the key. Exemptions. They can create whatever poison they want to give you, and the exemptions mean that you can't sue them.
Right.
You have no recourse if something goes wrong with one of the. So anyway, I can go down there.
Yeah, that's another. But it's true.
I can go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, the point I'm making is
very true.
The point I'm making is that keep in mind that some frenzy may take off right in the middle of your travel plan. So always stay update.
Yes.
Stay update.
But don't be fearful.
But one good piece of good news is that some of the cruise lines are beginning to relax some of their restrictions. So if you're looking to take a cruise, keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Until you get on a cruise and something breaks out and you get stuck on for a month. So, I'm just letting you know. That's all.
Be fearful, but don't be fearful. That's if you love to travel, you should keep traveling. Because once you become fearful, of course, if it's not safe, but I'm telling you, this is a tip. In August, watch the prices. The prices will go down for your fall travel. Meaning, if you plan on traveling in December, August is probably going to be a very good time to schedule your fall trip and winter trip if you travel like that.
Yeah. So put some alerts on. Matter of fact, it reminds me we need to put alerts on.
Yeah. But
put some alerts on. If you find something good, let us know.
Yes, please. Well, that's it. I'm done. But the good, the bad, and the annoying. I'm sure you can figure out which one is the annoying. Anytime that you're tampering with my purse or your wallet, I'm annoyed. But may your travel experiences be great, and God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Okay, goodbye.